Oh, hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and I just want to do this update video, mostly about my computer, because since I last did the last episode of my All the Computers I've Owned series. There's a few things have changed, and well, most notably, uh, I I did update to Windows 11, though that was not though no not by choice, unfortunately. I may have stated, I think, in that video that I got one of the those I got one of those. I got the Windows update that says, "Oh, do you want to update to Windows 11?" And I tried to delay it, and it's just like, and then it tried to happen, and then it didn't, and it didn't update, and then basically about a week later, I got it again, but this time it actually updated. But but at this point, I've just decided, well, I'll just get used to it, and just because in 2 years, Windows 10 is going to reach its end of support, and uh, so it's just the way I see it. Whether I decide I want to keep using Windows 10, I only get to do so for 2 more years. Although I kind of want to wait it, I kind of wanted to wait about a month before I actually make this video, because I wanted to have Windows 11 experience, to be able to say like what my thoughts about it are, and just I'm not this is not this is not based on what anybody else is saying. This is totally my personal thoughts, and as for my own experience, it's not really all that different from Windows 10, though. When you first install it, uh, you're basically all your icons on the taskbar at the bottom of your screen are in the middle, and instead of being to the left. And if you don't like that, you can change that. Like, I believe you have the option to either move them to the side or even move them to the right if you want to. Though I'm not too sure about that, but you at least have the option to move them to the left. And there are a few things are notably different. There's a few kind of features that were in Windows 10 that aren't in Windows 11. Though none of those really affected me. Though really the only one that does affect me is like when you right click. When you right click and you get you don't get the same menu as you did in Windows 10, though you do get the option to. I think like in the menu that appears in Windows 11, there's a show more options, and then that brings you to the menu in Windows 10. And then that was a little frustrating for me to get used to, but if you want to do things like cut, copy, paste, uh, those things are available in the Windows 11 menu, but just as icons. Instead of like options, like for cut, copy, and paste. And though really, apart from the kind of just some minor differences, I don't really mind using Windows 11. And I mean, I know kind of. I know kind of how dystopian this sounds. It's like when like Windows 11, like there's Windows 11, and also apparently in the next few years, like it seems like about the date that Windows 10 support is ending, we're gonna get we're gonna have Windows 12 coming out. And like I know how dystopian it sounds, that I'm okay with Microsoft's changes that they're pushing out that so many people hate. But just the way I see it is it doesn't matter like what kind of person you are or what products you use. You're going to use products that are controlled by like giant corporations. Like if you use Google, or if you watch YouTube, that's owned by Google now. And if you or if you use or if you own an Apple product, so that's another big company. And like Discord's also a huge company. So like if you use any just very well-known products or services these days, chances are those products are made by a huge company that can get away with can get away with some anti-consumer practices. It's just the unfortunate state of the world that we live in. And really, as a consumer, you really only can just pick your poison. You can't choose. You cannot choose a product or service that doesn't have some kind of downfalls associated with anti-consumer practices. And really, I intend to just so really my intention is to just stick with Windows unless unless Microsoft does something too evil for me to continue using Windows. And I know I have the option of installing Linux, but I really don't like. The thing is, like, even though I love to build computers myself, that doesn't mean I'm super technologically savvy or knowledgeable like I am knowledgeable about what computer hardware compares to what, and how say I know what a Ryzen 5 5600X I know approximately what Intel CPU that stacks up against, or what other AMD CPUs that stacks up against. And if I don't, I at least know what resources, online resources to go to compare, just to find the comparison. But as far as computer software goes, I am pretty. I don't really know a whole lot. So, from my understanding, like there are distributions of Linux that try their best to copy Windows, but from my understanding, at least from everybody who has switched to Linux, because they don't like the direction Microsoft is going with Windows, there's always some thing they couldn't get working in Linux to their liking, and which has always sent them going back to Windows. So, I mean, who knows? Like, I'm not saying I don't ever want to try Linux. It's just the way I currently use my computer currently. Just there's as I said, I don't actually hate Windows 11. I don't really mind it at all. And just, although Microsoft has done things I don't like, it's just they haven't done enough I don't like to make me really want to switch platforms. And but if Windows if Windows 12 turns out to be even worse than 11, which it probably is, and if it turns out to be significantly worse than 11, I might consider Linux. But my issue with doing that is, for one, I'd have to uninstall Windows from my current computer and put Linux on my current computer, unless I do have other computer, I do have a spare computer that's not being used currently, that I possibly could use to test drive Linux with. But just my thing is, where do I put it in my house? In my house, well, really my parents' house, but just I don't have a lot of room to. I don't have the room in the house I live in to set up multiple computers. It's like I am either going to have to shoehorn it in my bedroom somewhere, or put it in our basement, which is not climate controlled, and is not it's just not really it's just not really comfortable to be down there. And so, I mean, and so I'm not, so basically I'm not saying test driving Linux isn't an option, but it's not a good option. So, just given that just sticking with Windows is my best option right now, that's just what I'm going to do. And I mean, I guess your mileage may vary, but for me personally, Windows 11 hasn't steered me wrong, or at least not yet. And hopefully it will never do that. So and also I asked for my recent computer hardware purchases, my graphics card, and my CPU and my new CPU and motherboard. I do actually have some buyer's remorse. Like I kind of wish that on the day that I bought my graphics card, I could have at least walked out with a 3060 Ti, if not a 3070, or maybe even waited for the GPU for the price of graphics cards to uh, fall to the price they were about the time that I purchased my CPU and my motherboard. But just at that point in time, I was already facing like with my old graphics card, I was already becoming functionally obsolete in Fortnite, which, although I don't play that game nearly as much as I play Minecraft, I do play that game enough to where if I'm gonna have graphical glitches, I kind of that does make me consider replacing my graphics card, or at least as soon as I can. And even though in hindsight I paid way too much for my graphics card, I still got an upgrade that's twice as fast as what I had previously, and also a new a new graphics card architecture, which should have driver support for a good few years to come. And about my CPU and motherboard purchase, I do have a little bit of buyer's remorse. Like, I kind of wish I could have invested in AM5 or the new Intel platform, but seeing what's kind of happening in the PC industry right now, like with with the controversy with Asus, and the controversy just really just all the growing pains that the AM5 platform has right now, and just also just the price of just the price of motherboards with the new platforms. I'm just glad that this makes me glad that I made the decision I made, even though AM4 is now a dead end platform, and if I want to upgrade beyond that, I'm gonna have to buy another new motherboard. That doesn't really bother me as much as you'd think it would, because this the 5900X is it's probably one of the best investments I've made in my life, and also just the way I currently use my computer, like I'm not playing really any really demanding AAA games. Like, in fact, new AAA games don't really excite me, because it's what makes a game like enjoyable to me. That it's not that it has photorealistic graphics or ray tracing, or that uses the newest, the latest the latest in graphics technology. It's what makes a game enjoyable for me is more the gameplay aspects of that game. Does it have a good story element? Does it have like or just does it have things that just make a game that make a game fun to play, and also make you want to replay that game over again, after you finished it. And I mean, it's really for that reason that uh the games that I play the most that I play the most are not that are not graphically impressive at all. Like though with Minecraft you do have like if you don't like the default blocky textures in the game, you do have that option to utilize resource packs and shaders to improve your visuals in Minecraft, which I am doing. But that also means well, if you don't have a computer that can run shaders, you can still play the game, which is a lot better than a game like than these new AAA titles. Like it's better than not being able to play Cyberpunk because you don't have a computer that meets its its really high minimum requirements. And oftentimes the minimum requirements of games are just the bare minimum that's required for the game to start, not necessarily what you need to have a good experience playing the game. And it's just really for that reason I'm not getting that excited about new games. Though I guess I'm more I guess an example of this that's more that I guess it's more relevant to me would be Kerbal Space Program 2. And yeah, for those of you on Skate probably know I am that I actually bought KSP1 and have been playing that game for the past few months. And even then, when I bought that game, I was aware of that KSP2 was just around the corner. But really, I mean, like, I mean, I won't say I don't care about KSP2 at all, but it doesn't, that, it does, I'm not as excited about it as you think I would be, because, it just means, I'm gonna be buying a new game that, uh, it just so happens a lot that these days, when a lot of new games launch, it's just they don't launch in a very polished state, and KSP2 is no exception to that. And it's just they launch with so many bugs that if you're going to if you're gonna pre-order that game or even just buy it on its launch day, you're basically agreeing to be a beta tester for that game, or even an alpha tester in some cases. And For me personally, I don't want to be a beta tester. I want a when I pay, like, especially when I pay $50 for a game, I want it to be I want the experience to be worth that $50 that I paid for it. But but I guess you can also have the outlook that the game is just going to only get better with time. And I guess that can mean you're not necessarily throwing your money away, but as for me personally, I want to see, like, before I purchase KSP2, I want to see that game at least mature first, like get all the bugs out of it before I purchase it. So it's kind of really in that regard. I don't get I don't get as excited over new game releases as many would think I would. And the thing is, like, as long as I don't look to play as long as I don't look to play the most demanding new AAA games that have released in the past year, or in the past year, my computer is basically able to run any game out there by this point. Really, except like at some level of FPS and the graphics settings. Though really, with the only exception being the AAA games that launched in the last year or so, and and from benchmarks that I've seen of my graphics card, even then, if I'm willing to just make a few sacrifices to graphics settings, I could still run those games if I wanted to. But it's just I would not be able to max out those games, graphics wise. So really, to wrap this up, I don't hate Windows 11 as much as many of you would think, and I'm also still very happy about my recent computer hardware that I purchased. And I've been having a few minor problems, though one being if I watch videos on YouTube while I'm running a game that is taxing my graphics card, like using 100% of my graphics card, I get stutters on the YouTube video I'm watching. And though I've found that either disabling hardware acceleration in Chrome or limiting my FPS in the game I'm playing fixes that issue. And a few issues I've had that were fixed were just a random whole system freeze that was associated with AMD's FTPM that actually went away with the BIOS updates. And my boot SSD getting flooded with screenshots, though that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with my computer. It's just more, just stupidity on my part. And that's just that I had MSI Afterburner set to take screenshots when I pressed the right arrow key, but it just took me months to figure that out. And I have been and I've also seems that since I've updated to Windows 11, I've had my USB ports kind of randomly stop working, but it seems like the frequency of that has significantly dropped as Windows 11 updates have rolled out. So I had this thought that perhaps my install of Windows 11 might not be good, because I've had that time where it tried to install and it couldn't install, and then it was able to install the second time. It's just, I have a feeling that just my install might be just borked a little bit due to that, and I might benefit from reinstalling Windows, but so far it just seems like as updates have rolled out, I've kind of had less of those I've had less of those issues. So just hopefully that trend will continue as more updates roll out. Hopefully it'll only get more stable from here. And this video's getting long, so I hope you enjoyed what you this is me, Dusty Circuit here. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see my next videos, be sure to hit the bell for notifications. And peace out. Bye.